And here we have McLaren. These guys do over $1.1 billion per year in sales.
Today we're going to look at dark psychology. Don't fall for it. Don't become a victim.
Sell us a $454,000 car, bro. Like, it looks like a Game Boy. It's like...
Because there's some very sneaky techniques we're going to examine today.
But here's the thing.
Sabri Suby from Shark Tank.
They only sell 2,000 units of their cars per year.
Hot on the heels of dark psychology techniques. And it's not even if you're in the market for Bentley, a Lambo, or anything else. It's also in daily life.
I'm gonna buy this Lambo, or I'm...
How to turn it against them.
No one's coming to help us.
How many of us have fallen victim to a narcissist or some other kind of sneaky sales techniques, not just selling us luxury goods, but selling us someone who they are, who they pretend to be.
As I head inside to check out a brand new 750S, I'm greeted by absolutely no one.
The let's ignore you strategy. When Sabri finally wrangles one of those crocodile salesmen.
All right, they were still ignoring me, so I went up and asked about the car.
Who do we have to wrangle around here?
He doesn't even introduce himself.
Bo didn't even introduce himself.
Nor does he ask Sabri a bit more about himself. Just plays the scarcity game. There are only 60 made each year.
This is one of 60 in the world that has this livery.
Name dropping, but in a subtle way, if you will, or not so subtle. Watch out for these strategies when you encounter them and don't fall victim for them. To dangle it in front of Sabri like saying, I wonder if you would even have the money, or even if you have the money, if we would sell you one of our cars. Of course, Sabri volleys right back.
I've got the Lambo, but
I have a Lambo.
my buddies are really trying to convince me to get a McLaren.
And my friends are trying to persuade me to get a McLaren. Playing the game of name dropping, of subtly hinting at his own elevated status. The same play
What would you say is the biggest differences?
we can play it back to them, and so does Sabri.
You're not spending $3 million right now. You're spending under $500,000.
What a bargain.
What a bargain method. The technology is worth 3 million, but you're not spending 3 million. You're spending $500,000. Wouldn't you be so lucky? Without missing a beat, the salesman volleys back, boom.
This brand is really cool, really cool.
I managed Ferrari for so and so many years, Porsche for those many years, and Lambo for another 10 years, but the McLaren is superior.
I used to manage Ferrari for 4 years, and Lamborghini for 5, Porsche for 10 years.
Because it's worth 3 million.
Why? Technology. All our doors open up like this.
Yeah, it's sick.
All our cars have a...
Are you starting to sell more?
The disappearing act.
Halfway through his pitch, he abandoned me once again.
They have both dropped names, they've both kind of given each other the sniffing each other out for money and luxury. Let's put the game on another level.
To take a quick phone call.
Disappearing game may be something you have experienced, whether it's with a colleague or a relationship or in a sales situation. Watch out for the disappearing act. It's an act. It's designed to keep you dangling. Just as it's about to get juicy, Sabri is not that easy a pullover. This is the time to up the game.
And I was back to waiting around for help.
So McLaren is clearly using the rude sales clerk strategy.
Letting you wait around. Isn't that a game even some of the highest politicians play? Any type of letting you wait is a subtle put down in order to assure a certain hierarchy. Don't fall for it. Walk away or do what Sabri Suby does.
These guys didn't even serve us for the first 10 minutes that we were in there.
The rude salesperson is one of those reverse psychology tactics. So reverse sales psychology, when they keep you waiting, when they're rude to you, and you try and right the balance or assert your own importance, but that's the bait. That's the bait they put out on you. Now you are trying to get their approval rather than the other way around.
I had to literally go knock on the dude's office door
You have to earn
and be like,
Yo, we're here to buy a car.
all right, will do.
their approval.
Once they came out, they were very standoffish.
How many of those do you make a year?
And perhaps you fell for it. Perhaps you went along with that game, not realizing you just fell for
We're the number one dealer. We've been selling shit ton lately.
Really?
1 second.
strategy that none of us need to play along with anymore. When you gain their attention finally, they act standoffish. You perhaps seen this at parties where someone acts standoffish as though they are more and better than you. I've long practiced walking away in those situations.
He started to give me the attention that it is that I wanted.
But sometimes we're in a situation where we actually need to make this relationship work, whether with a client or in some business relation or social or political game. How do we counter the standoffish rudeness tactic they employ to reel us in? This technique is still so very effective that there are statistics and psychological studies that prove the ruder the salesperson is, the more money the clients spend.
There's been studies that show that the ruder that the sales clerk is, the higher the sales.
Or the more we lose in a negotiation game, because we are also eager now to prove ourselves that we have the money, that we do want to make the deal, that we have the social standing to earn this person's attention rather than their disdain.
I've got the Lambo.
There's a very sneaky, dark psychology.
The person comes in with a bit of chip at their shoulder and they want to feel included.
And you can play the one-upmanship like Sabri Suby does. He turns it around and says, and speaks of his Lambo, speaks of his wealth.
Coming to help us.
A game of poker. Who has nerves of steel?
And as a result of that, you've been mean to them and they're like, fuck this guy, like I'm fool.
You know, you're under a hook if you feel like, F this, I'm gonna show them that I can afford it. I'm gonna walk out with the most expensive item there, most expensive McLaren model. Don't fall for it. See it from a mile away. Remember, you have the upper hand.
Analog, like not like modern, especially after being in the roles.
It feels like it's like very durable, but it doesn't, like it's all carbon fiber.
The thing about
Let's turn it around. What if you are the one who's trying to make the sale relationship, whether it be social or otherwise, and you play that game instead of letting them play it with you? The more scarcity there is, and the more the other person is acting aloof, the more we want them. Won't be outwitted by the games other people play with us.
about McLaren is they're all about performance. Half of their revenue comes from merch and the affiliation with Formula One.
Particularly when they're celebrating Le Mans.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds provocative.
Have you ever experienced that? Whether you walk into a luxury store or with someone who plays hot and cold with you, or who is purposefully ignoring you in order to play an upmanship game. Luckily, we are on to him and to the strategy. Because when Sabri Suby walks into the McLaren store, no matter that he's on Shark Tank, no matter that he owns a $46 million Malibu mansion, he walks in and he gets promptly ignored.
I'm gonna buy this McLaren right now. It's definitely a tactic that these guys use.
1 second.
Most businesses, they do the opposite. And if you're just way too over the top, people don't believe you. They feel like you're just gonna tell them everything that it is that they wanna hear. Instead, what you wanna do is be a little bit more laid back, and you're gonna make way more sales. It wasn't until I flexed on these guys.
What are your experiences with the rude salesman, the aloof salesman, and those who ignore you? And substitute for salesman, person, business relation, or romantic relation, or narcissistic relationship. How many times have we fallen for that? And we still tend to fall for it even when we have heard how this tactic works. Know when you are being played and know how to turn the table on them. I'll see you soon.
I had to chill out after that one, so I headed